childhood, I always wanted to do something which would not be like rote learning. I hated repeating things. I didn't want to repeat my clothes. I didn't want to repeat my toys. I wanted it to be something which is going to be from my instinctive, responses to what's happening around. I'd seen my brother, pursue architecture. It lets you explore every time in a new manner. So that probably inspired me to, pick up architecture. The first meeting, when a design problem is introduced to me, that's probably the most exciting. And I'm literally like a 5-year-old even today. The moment that is introduced to me, I start, thinking about what is going to be the design solution, how it will look, how it will manifest itself. And by the time I walk out of the meeting, I'm actually having some images in my head. And that's probably come to me through my mentor. Ramesh used to do that, even before the client would finish. The client would tell him that, Rameshji, at least let me finish, my brief. And I picked up, that from him. And the second stage of that would be that, you'd start putting functional layers to it, put the detailing to it. And a lot of these detailings came from your personal experiences, around what you were reading, who you were meeting, and, what you were doing. So, that's how the process literally flows very smoothly, almost organically. I think it's going to be difficult for me to talk about one project. If I have to, then I would pick the JP University in Noida. It's an institutional project, and it's something that really signifies that the great institution that you see in the world, they have great technology, cutting-edge technology, they invest a lot of money in their resources, but they really are housed in very simple buildings, right? The buildings don't cost as much. So we had exposed bricks, we had exposed concrete, Kota stone, did it in 3 materials. We created these courtyards, spaces within the campus where people could sit, the socially interactive spaces. There were atriums, which were naturally ventilated. We did double wall facades, shaded windows. And we spoke about sustainable architecture when it was not fashionable to do so. This is over 25 years back. So that's, I think, one of the projects which really is close to my heart. One thing that you can't do is you cannot ignore it. AI is something that is there, can't be wished away, and it has huge disruptive powers. The real secret lies that we have to be the masters of AI, not AI doesn't have to be our master. And you can really control it in terms of the quick solutions that it can give you. It can explore alternative solutions for you as long as you are able to define and control the design problem per se. And I think it's better that we learn to cope with it, learn to master it before it becomes too late. I would say that, there are two things that come to my mind when we talk about the future of architecture. I think without sustainable architecture, I think, we are doomed. And if we don't address that in every single building that we do, whether it is a home or a township, the way forward is going to be a problem. So we have to learn to design buildings in a sustainable manner, not necessarily bring in very expensive technology or very expensive materials into it. There are simpler ways to do that. And I think the second thing that is very important is technology. I think technology is growing at a rapid pace, and architecture will, sooner than later, adopt to it and integrate that with its buildings. So far as my advice to the young architects is concerned, there's nothing which will be a substitute for hard work. You have to be a self-critique of your own work. I do that to my own work actually. It's a profession where, you are encouraged to go out, meet people, travel, read, do exciting stuff, and you'll be amazed at how some of the, experiences, they'll come back almost in an involuntary way into your projects. It has happened with me in many of my projects. Something that I saw or a person I met or a poetry that I read, probably 10 years back, has come to me, and, I could manifest that into my design as a design element. So that's what I would suggest, go out there, have fun, meet people, play, but do a lot of hard work. It's a great feeling, to be part of this recognition. It's a great initiative by Colon and Forbes India. It allows people to get recognized as well as people to get inspired from people who are getting recognized. So it's a great initiative. Thank you so much.